beautiful Dum Bay. Amid all this lies Ballykinler Army Camp. Home from home for the 650 officers and men of the 1st Battalion, the Devonshire and Dorset Regiment. A nomadic regiment, their colours will hang here till 1985, and then it's a posting to Germany. With the men and equipment goes the comforts of life, the regimental silver, worth £350,000. In truth, there are 2 battalions here, one of officers and men, the other of wives and children, another 650.
One has to think right across the field. If I just concentrated on my 1st battalion, as you say, the 650 soldiers, and ignored the very real problems the wives and children have here, I'd very soon run into an extremely unhappy battalion, because if a soldier's on operations and his wife and family are unhappy and are complaining, then his eye is going to be off the ball and he's going to be unhappy, and that could lead to disaster. So for professional reasons, I'm very concerned about their welfare. And also, naturally, they are in this camp. We live alongside one another, we work and play alongside one another. I think I'd be very inhuman if I didn't take their wants into account, and we do all we can to help them.
While Malcolm Amos patrols the streets of Belfast, his wife Sue tries to lead as normal a life as possible. Their 2 children go to the local school, just outside the gates of the camp. It's not an easy life for the women. At any one time, 1/3 of the men are on operations. And Ballykinler, a garage, post office and 2 shops, is hardly exciting.
You can't get on a bus here and go anywhere you want.
Yeah, but if you're down in Plymouth, as you know yourself, Lynn, you can't get on a bus and go anywhere. If you're down in Devon, no, you can't.
Why not? Why?
Because there's places in bleeding Devon that the buses only run once a sodden day.
Yeah, but you
So
can
what's the
still
difference?
go. They don't run here at all.
That's what I'm saying, Di. What's the difference?
You can't get a bus here and go
No,
anywhere.
where Dave lives, you get 1 bus a day to Plymouth, right?
Full and frank discussions between army and local wives. It happens all too seldom. When Sue Amos knew she was coming to Northern Ireland, did she expect the worst?
Well, you get the impression when you're back in England that there's bombs going off every 5 minutes, and there's a lot of people do get shot, but you don't see it like I thought you would.
What's the biggest problem for the wives here? Is it boredom?
Yeah, it's boredom and not being able to get out unless you've got a car and can drive. There are buses that they run on, but quite often they're cancelled or you can't get on them. So unless you've got a car or you know someone who's got a car, you are restricted and you feel confined, shut in all the time.
Behind the wire?
Yeah, there are activities, but a lot of them are sporting activities. And if you're not sports-minded, which I'm not, you're stuck. There's tennis and badminton and squash and horse riding and things like that. It doesn't appeal to me.
So what do you do?
Not a lot. There's not a lot to do, really.
Your husband's up in Ballymurphy at the moment. What goes on through your mind when he's away?
Well, I get quite worried. You don't know whether anything's going to happen. And then the time the news is on, I listen to the news, see if there's anything that's happened. And you always wonder whether you get a knock on the door saying that something's happened to them. I'd much rather he was back here than up there. We had a Christmas party, which most of us went to. There's quite a few wives though whose husbands were away. I feel a bit guilty going out while they're working, but we have to carry on and take the best of what we can.
All they know is that their husbands go off and do a difficult warlike job whilst they try and keep the home fires burning. It's a Jekyll and Hyde existence, and if perhaps I can illustrate that, one day I was looking out of the office window just as one of the companies was going off on an operation, and the men had loaded their weapons, they got their faces blackened, they got their belt order on, their morphine sirets, their shell dressings and all the rest of the paraphernalia of war, just as the kids were going to school. And a little girl ran across the road, threw her arms round her father and said, "Daddy, give me a kiss before you go." That, I think, encapsulates the problem one has here of leading these 2 completely separate worlds.